on the next episode of Sips, Suds, and Smokes.
Today we are discussing all things Avo.
Wings.
And wings. And wings.
Flats or drums?
That's right. Well, we go flats.
Really, this is a great product lineup. So I know all of us have been really thrilled to go through this and looking forward to the discussion today.
Yeah, so all things Avo, they have just released a Syncro series, and they are fresh out on the market. And I've always loved a good Avo. Their price point is always good. Their quality is always good, in my opinion. I'll always put them up there with like a Padron, a Davidoff, a Fuente, just a good smoke, a good smoke.
Has this product line been around for a long time and they changed the packaging, or I missed something along the way?
This would be considered, I would say, the new wave of Avo.
We'll be right back after this break. Brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking host, the good old boys. Hey man, got a light? It's time for Smokes.
Welcome to today's Smokes episode, where everything good in life is worth discussing. I'm good old Boy Barger, and with me is the crew. We are the best thing on at 2 a.m. right after speech coaching with Mike Tyson.
I'm Matt Tyson. I love it, Sagasso.
And right before tap dancing with Michael J. Fox.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
I would like to disavow anything in case Iron Mike comes after me.
That's right. Now here with me is good old boy Mike.
Yep, I'm definitely here.
Good old boy Drew.
Mike, I'm not here.
And good old boy Nathan.
How's it going?
Our smoke segments here are all about cigars and, well, anything that's smoked. Maybe. Here's what we're going to discuss in this segment. Today we are discussing all things Avo.
Wings.
And wings. And wings.
Flats or drums?
That's right. Well, we go flats.
Really, this is a great product lineup. So I know all of us have been really thrilled to go through this and looking forward to the discussion today.
Yeah, so all things Avo, they have just released a Syncro series, and they are fresh out on the market. And I've always loved a good Avo. Their price point is always good. Their quality is always good, in my opinion. I'll always put them up there with like a Padron, a Davidoff, a Fuente, just a good smoke, a good smoke.
Are you a cigar newbie? Fret not. We got you covered on our Cigar 101 episode, where all of this cigar speak will be decoded. Just search for Sip, Suds, Smokes, Cigars 101, and that episode should just pop right up, or follow the link in our show notes.
Thanks, Drew. And today, good old boy Nathan gets the honors of going over our smokes rating. Nathan, take it away.
Yeah, we'll be smoking and discussing these cigars and rating them with our Sips, Suds, and Smokes rating, plus our signature sounds. Here are those ratings now.
There's a lot of S's in there.
This sound sucked even before it was lit.
Smokes rating 1.
Smoke rating 2. Do you really have to light this 3 times? Or smoke rating 3. Very nice. Now just go away so I can enjoy this Avo.
Gesundheit.
So, I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoy Avo cigars. So, let's just go around the table. What do you guys think about Avos?
Before today? Before these 3 or after?
Yeah, just in general. Before.
I must confess, I don't really recall that I have historically sat down, especially now with the whole product line. There's probably a stick or two, that I had, in the past. So I think that's kind of the silly question I have up front. Has this product line been around for a long time and they changed the packaging?
So
or
this was
I missed something along the way. Yeah.
this would be considered, I would say, the new wave of Avo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Avo is essentially they're a sister company or a daughter company of Davidoff.
Davidoff, yep.
And you saw the same thing happen with Davidoff when they first released the Davidoff Nicaraguan, the Davidoff Umasa,
The
the
Oscuro.
Black Label stuff.
Oh, that Oscuro is so
And
good.
It is
really,
good.
what I would take it is you have two Dominican companies that have started actually really branching out of just using different Dominican tobacco or
Yeah.
different standard tobacco, but actually using more Nicaraguan, using more Ecuador, using more, which those companies weren't known for. Davidoff White Label, that's Dominican through and through. But then they threw in that Nicaraguan one
You better
to where,
stop it. Sorry.
to where though it has, because Dominican's gonna lean more earthy, more hay. Nicaraguan's gonna have more spice, more that volcanic soil
Yeah.
that adds so much.
Have these stick names, been around like Syncro and Caribe and
So from my
those
understanding,
are things I don't recall in the
Syncro
past.
came to market probably 4 to 5 years ago,
Okay.
and that was the first one in this whole series to come out. So all of this whole new series is about 4 to 5 years old.
So maybe that's it, is that I probably had the Syncro when it first came out, and I didn't even recall that the packaging was really originally like this. So
Yeah.
I think they changed the packaging and then they added some more sticks along the way. But
I think they just rebranded almost.
yeah, or something like that.
2015 was the original Avo Syncro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original Synchro's been around for a minute.
But I think the one thing that I found myself not only writing here in some of my notes is this entire product line, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love
Agreed.
the packaging.
Oh, the flat
Well,
colors.
hey, did
I like
everybody get the tubo?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
So that box press tubo like that is the coolest little thing.
Yeah.
It's the coolest little box.
Yeah,
I
a
have
little
to
tink when
say,
it opens.
Yeah.
tink.
I really loved all the packaging and the branding around this, and every single one of these sticks it felt like a high quality cigar in my hand. I mean, I've had some things that were probably twice this price and didn't feel nearly as good in my hand. So I mean, it's one of those things where we talk about sometimes, the way that construction, holds up, but sometimes just the general feel that you have something in your hand. It's like, wow, this feels like a Ferrari, that I'm holding in my hand. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely stepped it up a notch with this new branding. I really feel like, the color tones that they pick, the all of that just is very appealing.
Not that I would encourage people in marketing and branding to really kick
Yeah.
it up a notch. Please, could you make your band half the size?
Well,
Yeah.
but it's smart because when you have a company like Avo that's been around for a long time, or it's at least it's considered more of a classic brand,
Yeah.
and the domain and the XO and stuff like that, people are they're more old school cigars that people associate. So when you come out with that new line, at least I'm glad that they came out with something that's a little bit more new and unique and more
A
modern.
hard turn
Yeah.
from the old
Yeah.
branding.
So I didn't realize this until a while back, but did you guys know that Mr. Avo was a musician?
There's a Mr. Avo.
Yeah. So Avedis Avo Uvasian? Is that how you say it? I'm horrible at names.
Possibly.
I'm not going to butcher it as bad as Mike will here. But he was a very interesting man. So I was looking up online about him.
like this scene out of Princess Bride,
That's
showing-
right.
I am Mr. Avo. I'm here to take all your women.
So he was actually born into a family of musicians. His mother was a singer, while his father was a composer and conductor for a symphony orchestra. His parents' experience of music allowed him to develop his talents early on in his life, and in his later years, his passion and culture for cigars. So Avo was actually in a jazz trio called the Lebanon Boys.
I think they actually pronounce all of the syllables when they're not in Tennessee.
Oh, okay. That's news.
Lebanon.
Yeah, Lebanon. The Lebanon Boys. He even had contract to perform at a hotel in Baghdad that turned into a residency for a whole entire year. And after that, they signed a deal to perform at a hotel in Iran, and even had an invitation from, I'm going to butcher
From
this.
the Shah.
From the Shah Rez
Just the Shah.
Pahlavi.
Just the Shah.
Just the shot.
Just the shot to perform at his palace.
There you go.
And that was actually a little snippet from an interview that they did in Cigar Aficionado magazine, and it's crazy. It
The
is.
CIA got in the way.
Yeah,
huh?
it is just like
Not the Culinary Institute
right.
of America.
No, but that interview is gnarly. So anyway, we're gonna talk about this Syncro series here. From what I could gather online, is this Syncro series really developed about their love for the land of the Dominican lands. So each different one of these cigars has a theme about the different places and regions that they go to.
Single origin.
Yeah, it was pretty neat how they kind of are doing this with they're mixing the branding in with the product, and it's interesting.
It needs theme music and
for real.
and a background video.
yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
shoot! Do we owe somebody money now?
No, not on my soundboard today.
That's right. Well, let's just jump right in, and we're gonna let good old boy Nate go over the first cigar, the Syncro Caribe.
Caribe is what we're going to go with.
Caribe?
So the Avo Cinco Caribe is a journey of flavor comprised of Caribbean tobaccos with a touch of Central American vibes. These cigars are carefully arranged with a synchronization.
There's the word. There it is.
Synchronization of tobaccos from Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, and Ecuador. A blend that represents a naturally harmonious experience that takes you to the land where the palms sway back and forth and the breeze to the sea. So this cigar is, the ones that we smoked were a Toro. It's a 52-inch girth.
Ooh, there's the girth.
Today we're going to be demonstrating how to measure girth. Girth is a very important measurement when determining sizes. First, take your tape measure, place it at the center of the shoulder, bring it down through the crotch, and back up again, making sure it's going over the widest part.
And then, so it's a 52 ring gauge with a 6-inch length. The wrapper is from Dominican Republic. The binder is from Ecuador, and it's got fillers from Dominican Republic and Nicaragua.
Well, Mike, I know you're excited about your notes on these cigars, so why don't you take it away and tell me what you think?
Well, there's been a period of time between when I sat down and smoked these. I wrote these notes, so I'm laughing at myself.
How drunk were you?
There is a very good question. So, here's my quick notes before the break. So, quite spicy up front. It felt like I was unwrapping a Ferrari in this single flip top 10.
Yeah.
The transitions to pure leather, earthy, and still quite spicy. And that spice finished out in the last third. This is not my jam. So,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, man.
This one was my favorite of the
This
Oh,
flight.
was
I
not my
really
jam.
like this one.
I think it was the 10. That was, I think I
You
can
give
see
it a 10?
lot. No, I'm saying
yeah,
a lot
he
of
does.
people were very impressed, with this, 10 top, and it was very cool. Nathan said something about it earlier, and I agree that, you don't run across, outside the Romeo and Juliet tubes, with the screw top. This is not that. This is a very, very cool thing.
Well, we'll pick back up on that after the break. Well, it seems with a little bit of alcoholic help, we forget our notes sometimes.
Yes.
So let's hear your tasting notes again on this cigar, Mike.
Yeah, so I read the one for the Syncro Nicaragua, which was a wrong stick. All right, so the Syncro Caribe is here are my notes around that. So a completely different stick, by the way. I'm so sorry. This one does not come in at 10 top. I wrote down some mild spice at it being lit, very woody with some medium spices, tough draw. The spice kind of subsided in the middle, and then it hit this sweet vanilla and this subtle floral thing that was going on, almost like jasmine.
That sounds more like that cigar.
And the draw actually got better after the first ash, and then it still was pretty tight, but kind of an okay finish to this. This was my least favorite of the lineup.
Oh, man, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
I really like the flavor profile of this one. I was a little upset on the finish of it, though, because when you get to the end, the flavor kind of trailed off for me. But throughout the cigar, I thought it was Very well constructed, very good cigar. What do you think, Nathan?
No, I enjoyed it. It was probably not my favorite of the four, but I liked
Sure.
the complexity. I liked the flavor.
Yeah, I have to pull back and say that my favorite of the four was for the notes that Mike read out of order, the Nicaragua. This one was good. I would agree with floral, although jasmine, it may have been because I was having coffee sitting in a rocking chair staring at a river, but I would say more chamomile, definitely very woody.
Now, was that pumpkin spice coffee you were drinking?
Get out.
No,
Get out now.
I know you loved it. Don't play.
There's no t-shirts
I'm
for
not
you,
basic.
man.
No, but it was interesting. It was actually the one that I did start with, which
Same.
was not what I expected.
Yeah.
With my historical experience with Avo.
Yeah. No, I think it was very on par with Avo's profile, how I've always smoked them. Yeah, so let's give it a rating, folks. So we're going to give it an overall smokes rating of 2. Not bad. And we're going to go now into the Syncro Nicaragua.
Yes. So the Syncro Nicaragua on the island of Ometepe. Did I get that right?
Probably not.
Almost there. Maybe not quite.
all right.
Anyway, in this rich soil that lies beneath one of the Nicaragua's most active volcanoes, a uniquely sweet and spicy tobacco is grown. Known for its wild character and peppery notes, Avo Cigars carefully blends the Nicaraguan tobacco with only the finest and Dominican leaves, famous for their earthy flavors and soft, creamy notes. This fusion delivers a perfectly smooth. I'm going to read it one.
Perfectly.
Perfectly?
Tomato.
Yeah. Perfectly smooth and balanced box press with an unexpected depth and complexity, exceptional cigar to be enjoyed and shared. The particulars on this one is this is a girth of 50. It's 5 inches in length. And the wrapper is Ecuador, the Habano 2000 Clara variety. The binder is Mexico, Negro, San Andreas.
Yep.
And the filler is Nicaraguan, Dominican Republic. So similar in terms of the same filler that they had in the last stick.
Yeah.
Some of my own notes, which I read out of order. I'll read them up again.
Oh, here we go.
So again, it was quite spicy up front. It feels like it's unwrapping a Ferrari in a single flip top tin. The transition is to pure leather, earthy, still quite spicy. And that spice kind of finished out in the last third. This is not my jam. So, yeah.
Well, you're wrong.
I had the exact opposite
There you go.
opinion.
I knew
My first note on this was, damn, this is a good cigar.
Indeed.
Well, and I find it interesting because Ometepe is actually like with that volcanic soil, it gets you talk about that spice, and actually not that many people use Ometepe tobacco. It's a thing that you wouldn't, if people are talking about Nicaraguan tobacco, it's not often Ometepe. So it is, they were going to create more of that spice characteristic with that cigar.
So they were aiming for something that
for
I
sure.
just don't like.
for sure.
So I actually had paired it with a Four Roses last night. That's
So I described it in a way in which they hit the mark they were aiming for.
Yeah,
Is that what you're
absolutely,
saying?
absolutely.
There you go.
So I smoked that yesterday with you when we smoked the other cigars.
Oh, this was.
That was the second cigar that I smoked yesterday.
Oh, I didn't see the 10
Because I had pulled it out and
Oh,
put
you
it
pulled
in my,
it.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. And so, but I put it, man, that thing pairs excellent with bourbon. And halfway down, its consistency was really good for me. And it stayed consistent. And I almost burnt my fingers on the nub. I was just, I
smoked it
really,
until there
really
was nothing
liked
left.
it. Yeah, it was so complex flavors in that thing that was just breaking down layer after layer after layer after every draw. It seemed was different.
So I smoked mine on the water. I was canoeing, and shout out to the marketing, branding, packaging people. The tubo was phenomenal because I threw it in my dry bag with everything else that I had, and I pulled it out. Snipped it. Actually, I didn't snip it because I forgot to
V-cut
pack.
it, didn't you?
I did, but I used a razor blade because I forgot to pack.
Oh, I remember you telling
so
me that.
even
Yes.
with a razor blade, V cut, it was absolutely phenomenal. It smoked beautifully.
That's
It
hardcore.
may have been because I was in my happy place on the water. I did pair it with a phenomenal double IPA from Black Abbey here in town.
I wouldn't have went to that.
Can I just say that I'm a little disappointed that none of us just went straight into smoke on the dun because he was talking about the smoke on the water and I was
Deep Purple.
I was picturing it.
I was waiting for someone, you know.
Right.
I do have some pairing notes because I had this with the Foursquare Vintage 2009 rum.
Because of course.
And yeah, I know. What can I say?
You don't like rum, do you?
And it just did not hold up well against all that spice at all.
Really?
And I actually wrote down, I actually thought this would work pretty well with an Isle of Peat bomb, some kind. Go for Ardbeg or Big PD Lefroy. You hate,
No, sir.
Stop nodding your head. I
No,
know
sir.
I know you hate Pete.
Put like with like,
They're
right?
See,
hater.
I honestly would pair it with a port wine.
I'll
Yeah,
take that.
that would work.
Tawny or
I'll
Ruby?
take that.
Tawny.
Tawny,
Okay.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, so something that would, I think both of those fall, it would bring a lot more body and a lot more, something that you would attack all that spice and actually balance everything out.
I would have never put it with an IPA.
Well, it was a really malty, sweet IPA.
the hops in itself would clash.
It complemented it well.
sort
in
of
my
love
opinion.
that, Carl.
Yeah.
Can you say malty in the
Love you,
mic
Carl.
one more time?
Malty.
That was good.
Yeah. But I mean, I think with a rum, I think it would have been good. I haven't, obviously done your
this
pairing.
cigar just steamrolled that rum. It
But
just was like,
but see, it was that Four Roses that we
roadkill.
tried last night when I started smoking this one, and it was just the oiliness left over from that Four Roses.
the
Yeah,
the Alabama
OESK,
brothers,
yeah.
OESK, yeah.
And then with that oiliness of that box press was just something dreams are made of.
How many things paired well with that Texas whiskey? None.
None.
Banned once again.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
So we're gonna go into our ratings for that one. Looks like it's a 3 across the board.
You're in the minority, Mike.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's
I
all
can
right.
live with it.
So next is our Syncro Ritmo.
The Syncro Ritmo is rich with mystery and possibility. The unknown is a place to be savored and shared with like-minded souls. Located far below the equator, beyond the dense vegetation of the Brazilian jungles and over the highest Peruvian mountains, amidst the fertile soil of South America,
It's just like the Land Before Time.
it lies in a region where the most primal tobaccos grow wild. Once hidden beneath towering ruins along the burgeoning Amazon River basin, the untamed rhythm of this land has been uncovered and cultivated for Avo Syncro Ritmo.
Bloody favoritism!
A cigar that composes the rugged flavor of an ancient civilization with a sophisticated style of Avo. A medley of color and complexity, this rare collection of tobaccos from Peru, Brazil, and Ecuador is elegantly arranged with Central American tobaccos from Nicaragua, Honduras, and Mexico. Raw in nature and polished in the experience, it's a blend 1,000 years in the making, inspired by the world spirit of a cigar legend.
I just want you to read books to me sometimes.
The girth
Yeah.
is 54. The length is 7 inches. The filler is Nicaraguan, Brazilian, Peruvian, Honduran, and Dominican Republic. The
Different filler.
wrapper was Ecuadorian and the binder was Mexican.
It was
It was not as good as the description. I will just say that.
Oh, I actually think that cigar is like, because I think of when we think of cigars as being like a flavor on your palate, and even talking about whiskey, I really compare it to food. And so even when people ask what cigars do you smoke or whatever, it's like it's the same sense of food. What am I in the mood for?
Yeah.
And to me, the Ritmo or the
the
Ritmo. Sorry, too many names. The Ritmo, it has this nice, rich complexity that it is a very complex cigar, and I find that like sometimes it may be too much, but also there's perfect settings. Like I almost even think this cigar is a cigar I would do a seltzer water with because it's actually there's going to be so much flavor and so much complexity going on.
you lost me at seltzer.
Whatever. Topo Chico, man.
Sparkling.
Come on, man.
No,
man.
sparkling,
It's
bro.
sparkling.
Mountain Valley.
Mountain Valley.
Get that USA water.
I would do it with like a double chocolate cake.
Just like a piece of it.
just like a piece of cake.
Like chocolate malted
Take a
rye.
puff, take a bite.
Yeah, like a chocolate cake, just something from like an Italian restaurant.
I think the thing that's in common between those choices is something bitter, you know. Yeah. And something that is going to wash out your palate, you know, and let, you know, this cigar really sing, you know, pretty well on your palate. I think that's one common thing.
This was actually my favorite.
Wow.
The Ritmo was actually my favorite of the bunch.
Well, I like how you just freely admit that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You know,
I felt like the whole time I was smoking it, I'm like, where am I going with this? Where is this going? Every time I will, complex as heck.
so my notes on this was off the light. It's great flavor, spicy but mild. And then the third down, it was getting spicier and bolder. And
Spicy
halfway
but
through,
mild.
the flavor it kind of plateaued
I agree
into
with that.
like a spice bomb. And then when you hit that back third, the spice just opens up. Because when I hit the halfway point on this cigar, I set it down and I let it cool down. And then I picked it back up.
Maybe that's what I needed to
And
do.
then I picked it back up, and that spice was still there, and it was just so good. And then it mellowed out towards the end, and it was just, I put it finished, awesome. I like this one.
Yeah, so maybe that was something I don't recall, you know, really kind of taking my time with this.
Yeah.
I think I was, you know, I needed to go to A to B, you know, through
Yeah.
this.
I think I was watching Ancient Aliens or something.
Some of my own notes here around the Ritmo. Earthy and woody, big easy draw, stayed earthy, and actually had a hint of mint in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I got juniper, which was
okay.
weird.
Yeah, the
Maybe-
floral.
Yeah.
There was something that changed. It was really weird. I remember, you know, I was like, whoa, hey, what is that? You know, and I sat there for maybe like 5 minutes, and I had some fresh mint that was over in a pot, you know, next, and I was,
Yeah,
I
for
did.
real.
I went and I just grabbed a leaf, and I was like, I'm like,
What kind of mint?
that was spearmint.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Juicy fruit.
solid construction once again. Feels really great in the hand.
That hand feel is so
It
good.
is going to be a very consistent thing. I'm
Consistent
gonna
across
say
the line.
all,
Yes.
all day long around each one of these. Yeah.
What I like about them, when you talk about hand feel, is that the quality of the wrapper is nice, oily, and veiny, and it's tight. The wrapper is tight, but the cigar is not overly tight.
It felt dense
Yeah.
in the hand, but it smoked really beautifully.
Right. This the construction of it all. The whole construction was just amazing. And when you get into the multiple of the sizes that we were given for this, which by the way, shout out to Avo and their rep here around here, Garrett.
We got these as oh wow.
Yeah.
So for
feel
helping
bad
us hook
for-
up for this, because this was a big deal and it was awesome. So
Yeah. You know, that's, I guess the thing that I'm sitting here wondering, so we've gone through, you know, 3 of these sticks. I'll bring this up after we rate this. So
Yeah.
we should rate this, and I'll bring up my topic after that.
Smokes rating of 2.
Oh. It was good. It was good.
That's okay. I can't win them all. I understand.
So I think the thing I'm wondering, and Nathan, I think my question is really, you know, how many people are just kind of coming in and really looking for things, or this branding component that we talked about up front is really kind of drawing people into this? Because I don't know anybody that I've run across where they go, oh, this is my jam. This is what I smoke on a regular basis. I haven't run across people that, and part of it is, you know,
it too new?
I'm guessing exactly
Well,
what
no,
you're
I
saying
think- I
there
think
is that
that's
it's not
the
been
thing.
around for a long time.
So I think if you look at with all the cigar brands out there, you either have the smaller new companies, which are really capturing the younger crowd, or, you know, you have some of the old school brands, and the old school companies like with Avo, they, most of the guys who I feel like smoke them are going to be
not like
people
this.
they're people who've been smoking it for a long time, and they're used to like the domain that's like a very earthy, very Dominican, grassy, like, you know, mild to medium bodied cigar.
Also, I think we're creatures of habit. So
Right.
when we get into a
Absolutely.
brand, when we find a brand that we love, well,
right.
hell, I don't care if it's
Illusion.
a dirt cigar. Hey, you better,
CAO for me.
yeah, you better
know.
stop it. Illusion's a great cigar. But these Avos, man, I've been smoking Avos for quite some time. Even since I started smoking cigars, I remember picking up some Avos, and I have not had. I'll say this, and I may be wrong, and everyone else may have other experiences, but from my experience with Avos, I've never picked an Avo up that I had to work on. I've never picked up an Avo that I had to either relight or stick a or a poker down.
I call that a utility brand.
Yeah,
and Avo has always been in my brain a utility brand. And when I say that, it's like you think of like a company like Snap-on. If a guy uses Snap-on tools, he knows that like this wrench is going to always work. It's always this thing's always going to.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But
about
their
tools.
price points really aren't that bad.
But it's one of those things where whatever your brand is your thing.
Oh yeah, Snap-on for sure.
So like you have that guy who's going to smoke. I might try something different today. I may do something, but utility brand. It's like, no, I know this. I know I'm going to like it. It's been a weird,
safe.
Like weird day, and I want to smoke this cigar. Yeah. So, it's more of that safer play.
My impression of Avo was always that it was very one note, mostly mild. And I mean, this is coming from a guy that doesn't like Maduro, that mostly smokes Connecticut. So, take that with a shaker full of salt. But this was a complete, shift. I was not expecting anything like what I got with any of these cigars. And normally that is not a good thing in my book, but it was a phenomenal thing with this. Yeah. I will revisit Avo and look for more of these.
So one of the ones of the Avos that I fell in love with was the XOs in that orange box with the nice band packaging. Like, I think that they are here, just look at that. That is just clean. Like everything about Avo,
it's a good color.
Their packaging,
orange is awesome.
their everything is just clean, straight lines, very streamlined.
Well, and they are a company that their branding, not only, it's not just the branding, it exemplifies the cigar.
They're consistent.
That cigar is
consistent,
also going to be
absolutely
smooth.
They are
and
consistent,
and so.
Well, we'll pick up more of that after the break.
Yeah, I want to talk about price point.
Yeah, absolutely.
After we come back for sure. Yeah, because that's normally we don't really talk about price, but I am really curious.
These smoked like they were expensive.
Yeah. So I want everybody to make their best guess.
$20 stick?
Maybe after we come back from the break.
Oh.
So
yeah, we'll definitely get into the price point because I think it's very important, especially for our listeners, to know if something's approachable or not.
Yeah. I'm really cheap.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and admit that.
I'm a little cheap too when I'm out in public, but I smoke what I like. Welcome back to the Smokes episode. We are discussing all things Avo today. And,
all things.
Well, at least the things
all
that
the
we
small
smoked.
Things?
The small things. That's right.
Yeah. So before the break, I was suggesting we have just a little bit of a price point conversation because I have not looked these up. I don't work in a retail store on a normal basis, so I have no clue, where these are. I am going to guess that of the 4 sticks we have, they're probably in a price range between $10 and $15.
That's a wide range.
Yeah. Well, so I think
$12.50.
So I think the one that was in the tin top is probably most expensive.
Probably.
And I'm guessing that probably the one that I like the least, which was the Caribe, is the $10 one. So there you go. There's my entire rationale behind that
packaging
range,
costs money. That's for sure.
From what I understand, the price point on these are between 10 and 20.
Okay.
So,
wow,
do you have
$20
any experience with the retail on this?
Honestly, they're under. Most of them actually should be under $15.
Under 15. Okay, so
unless you're going to,
and I think like when the first Syncro came out, it was like
$12.99 or something.
Yeah, like a Toro was like $12.99.
So you're really paying $3 for that little tin top?
Yeah.
Packaging costs money, right? I mean, especially in an inflation.
No, actually, no, because there's a Gordo in the Ritmo or in the Syncro size that's like more expensive than that. They actually Davidoff pretty much normally their tubo costs is pretty down compared to
economies of scale. I guess they do a lot of them.
So I'm gonna go into this cigar here called the Fogato.
That means fire.
Having savored the spice, sweet notes from the Isla Tepe, Our Syncro series now ventures deeper into the rugged landscape of Nicaragua, collecting and composing wilder and richer, more intense flavors, pushing ourselves into new frontiers for experiences that revel in unexpected and powerful strength from within. Venturing north into the dark, mountainous soils of Nicaragua, Esteli, and Condega regions, our master blender has captured the strength and spice from this rugged yet fertile terrain.
Rugged yet fertile.
I love that statement. That's just a good all-around.
That's how I describe myself.
Yeah, I was going to say that's how I describe you
There's
too.
a few really horrible TV episodes that I'm thinking of all of a sudden, you know.
And next on MASH.
Yeah.
So it's got a girth of 50, a length of 5 inches.
It's kind of squatting.
Yeah, I know. But the wrapper is an Ecuador and Habano 2000
There
Clara.
it is again.
So I can't remember based on the ones I smoked that one a couple weeks ago, but was this one a torpedo?
I believe so.
Yes.
Because I was saying
This
that's
was the
my
torpedo.
favorite size of this cigar is that little short little torpedo.
And I also cut this one with a razor blade.
You better stop. The binder is Mexican Negro San Andreas, and the filler is Nicaragua Dominican Republic. I enjoyed this cigar. I don't remember it being my favorite. But let's see what my notes said on it. I said very airy off the light, kind of tastes like old Davidoffs. Yeah.
Sorry. I'll try to hold it together.
I said, and this is one of the ones that I didn't really, this wasn't one of my favorites. And I said, there's not much flavor halfway down. And then I said, I'm not really a fan. It never really got complex for me. It was just airy and light. And it reminded me of like the old Series R Davidoff. Like it's a consistent flavor, but it's just not much of a flavor. It's a cigar. You know what I mean?
I have to disagree. It was light, but there was a complexity to it that I found intriguing. It reminded me a lot of a very mild Speyside Scotch, in that you've got some floral notes, some heather notes. Speyside is sweet.
Yes.
You don't like sweet things?
You don't like sweet people?
I'm not a Scotch fan.
Close, but no cigar.
Anywho, it
It's
was
strange. I know.
it was good. I liked it, even with the razor blade job.
What did you guys think? Mike, what were your notes on this one?
So my own notes here on the Fogato: creamy and super soft. Great draw. It feels solid in the hand. Again, it's a very common thing we have
Consistent.
going on here. Subtle hints of leather, citrus peel, and vanilla. Just a touch of spice on the last third of this. And this was the only construction comment that I wrote. Actually, had a few touches of canoeing on this one. So,
Paddling down the
That's
river?
weird, because I was canoeing and I had this one hanging out of my mouth the whole time.
yeah. This
With
was
the razor blade?
This was
No,
my
the razor blade came first.
This is my favorite of the lineup as well.
Really?
And yeah.
Wow.
My second favorite.
Yeah.
This is
That's
my
crazy.
least favorite.
Yeah.
Well, you both are wrong,
I was
so
like,
that's okay.
Yeah.
I have some interesting pairing comments here as well. So,
Let me guess, rum?
no. Why you just, have to go
I
there
paired
all
mine
the time?
with a nice
you know?
turkey sandwich
Yeah, so-
while I was on the water.
Yeah. All I have to say is I'm going to watch his reaction, because anyway. So
Just go.
I
Just go.
paired this with Nika straight from the barrel.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's one of my
So,
favorites.
it was
good one.
really
But you don't
great.
like Scotch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Scotch, but
not
At least they say
Scotch.
it's a good one. I don't know.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah.
That one?
Oh
I
yeah.
think so.
It's smoky and peaty, and you just would hate it. No, it's not even remotely close.
Sounds
to that.
horrible.
Yeah, it's from Japan. So
Oh, the Nika, the
Yes.
from
Nika
It's
whiskey.
the
Yeah, the
square
red
bottle.
label.
The
Yeah,
no,
it's
this,
square.
Well, this one's rectangular. The from the barrel.
I've had that. Yeah.
Aren't all squares?
it was really great. I
Yeah,
really
who knows?
love that whiskey. I can talk a little bit more about why I chose that later, but I'd also pick a very, a rich rye whiskey would go really well with this.
You don't think it would overpower it?
No, like a.
I think something
like
with
a Knob,
bolder-
like a Knob Creek or Old Forester rye would do really well.
Peanut
with this.
rye?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Some screwball.
So, this was really great. I can't say how much I really enjoyed this all the way around. So this would definitely be the stick I would go back to in the entire product line for sure.
I don't smoke a lot of torpedoes. So that was a bit of a departure from me, and I did a guillotine razor blade cut, which also is a departure for me because I'm a notch guy. As
I
we have
would
discussed.
probably, if that was same I chose for mine, and I would probably change this up and go with a V cut off this. So yeah,
I would agree with that because I think the draw was perhaps a little too loose, a little too easy almost. I mean, it was not to throw shade, you know.
Yeah.
It was constructed well, but I don't know. I might actually change up and get out a guillotine cutter.
But see, here's the thing. Like, I think
will
the
be a next time.
construction of that cigar was well. It burned well. It stayed consistent. It didn't trail. I didn't have to work on it. There was just no flavor. Like, I didn't
you
have
just
any.
burned your palate up with all those Maduros.
See,
That's
I think it does
possible.
have flavor. To me, I get a lot more. I feel like I get a lot more like peppery notes off of it than
Maybe
than I
white
do.
pepper,
like white pepper.
green pepper, you know, like au poivre
Oh,
pepper
gosh.
notes. Do you not like au poivre?
I don't want to talk about it.
On another episode, we'll go into Barger's deep, dark secrets.
right.
uncultured moments with Barger.
That's right. Didn't learn that one in the tow truck.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Well, you said, Nathan, that this was your favorite of the bunch?
The Fogato?
No,
No.
sorry.
Syncro.
Syncro.
Syncro is my favorite.
Okay. Now,
This is my least favorite.
why would, so I will say calling it Fogata, like,
Because you could forgot about
that's,
it.
that's, I mean, I took French in high school because I was
It's an
stupid.
Italian, Dominican Republic. Get a stick.
That's right.
But in Spanish, I thought Fogata was like fireplace, you know, or
Well, see, that's what
campfire.
I
But
thought
I
it was a
guess
cheese.
I get more fire. Like I get more heat off of it that I
did.
feel like. Now, question: did you all retro hail it?
No.
did
Yes,
not.
always.
Oh yeah. See,
don't
that's
retro
where
hail
it comes
Every
alive.
cigar.
That's where it comes alive.
Yeah.
What do we think the rating is?
Oh my gosh.
Come on.
Oh man.
You know,
We're gonna lobby this up here.
we're just gonna call it a 2. We're just gonna call it a 2.
Protest.
Yes. Under massive protest.
Don't give any more of these cigars to good,
Favoritism.
Yeah. So
to good old boy Barger. You can
That's
send
right.
them all to good old boy Mike and
man.
myself.
yeah.
Well,
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? We have a winner.
See, I have all the buttons over here.
that's true. That's true. This was your
pushing
guys'
buttons.
favorite cigar. I get it. but it
No,
was-
no. The Nicaraguan was my favorite.
Yeah.
So the
This was-
Syncro
yes,
Nicaragua.
Excuse me. Yes, sorry.
So
This
I
is my
know,
second.
I know that we touched on this a little bit, but what, as far as branding and as far as how everything works together, what did you guys enjoy the most about these cigars?
It was one of those moments where I enjoyed the experience.
Yeah.
You know, it's really strange. I can't think of anything else that I've had recently where I was like, wow, it is so cool that I've had the opportunity to sit down and smoke all of these and offer some opinion about them.
Yeah.
That quality thing was just, yeah, it
someone-
just stayed with me the whole time.
As someone who works in marketing and branding, these are beautiful. Like
Oh,
they are
fantastic.
100%.
absolutely killing it. And as also someone who works in marketing and branding, they actually lived up to the beauty.
They've
and-
always,
sure.
their marketing team has always been, in my opinion, genius. That one time years ago, and I don't know how long ago it was, but they had their box was an baby grand piano.
Well, I was to say playing
That's
off
pretty
that.
sweet.
Playing if
Yeah.
you want to talk about branding when it comes to Avo, I mean they've done events where they've given away turntables that are Avo
Absolutely.
branded. But they had
I want one.
Well, they had a cigar. I can't remember for the life of me what it was, but it came out a couple years ago, limited edition, where the whole box was circular and it looked like a record.
A record,
Like,
yeah.
the
I
whole
remember
thing
that.
was like a
God, that's
record.
amazing.
So,
Musician thing.
when it comes to branding, no Avo, and they've always played off the Avo musicianship really well in a honorable way and like not too cheesy.
But normally when you see this much money and time and attention going into the branding, it's to put lipstick on a pig. Like
Yeah,
that's
for
my
sure.
experience with alcohol. That's my experience with cigars. I mean,
Yeah.
this is one of those rare occasions where I feel like, they invested the right amount into the
So-
marketing and branding and it matched the quality of what I was smoking.
So that cigar was the 90th anniversary of Avo.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That's right.
that's
the
cool.
box
Actually,
was a record
but
player.
it actually did dub as an ashtray too.
Yeah.
So
wow.
once that box was done, it worked.
It was an
as
ashtray.
There's none of those anywhere.
Yeah, and
anymore,
Avo,
right?
please.
Yeah, that was
send
like
us more.
2017, so it's been a long time.
But their branding has been so good. So what? Obviously, we know what was everyone's favorite and what was everyone's worst. But other than Mike, what did you guys pair with these? Because Mike told us what he paired with.
Yeah,
Not to exclude him or anything.
No, it's quite all right. Yeah.
Well, I again smoked all of these on a vacation.
So the Cumberland River water.
No,
not the Cumberland.
not the Cumberland. Ugh. No, a beautiful river called the Spring River in northeastern Arkansas. I've been going there since I was a kid, and paddled up and down the river. Put a lawn chair in the river and smoked my cigars. Most of my pairings were beer for this. Like I already mentioned, I had an IPA with the Nicaraguan, a nice turkey sandwich, and PBR with Fogato.
Yeah.
And the Caribe, I did actually get a flask of Knob Creek bourbon.
There you go. There you go.
Bourbon. I don't remember, but it was either probably water or coffee.
Okay.
That is consistent.
Okay. Now let me just. What advice would you guys give somebody walking into a humidor and looking at Avo?
You need to try one of these.
Absolutely.
Well, and I would differentiate the difference between some of the more classic Avos to be more that earthy,
Yes.
mellow, mild to medium body, and then these ones
U-turn.
that have that the more the new wave, the new the new thing. So when you look at the brand all as a whole, if you've tried one and you didn't like it, try one of the new ones.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I will throw out that the box press tubo would go great in a golf bag, as well as a dry bag in the bottom of
These
the
are
new.
good. These are very good gift cigars.
Yeah.
You're traveling.
I think the XO even comes in a tubo, screw top
Yeah,
tubo.
I think they have a couple different.
Yeah, they have
tubos
a
in
lot
their
of different
lineup.
tubos, and I've always liked that about them too, because I could just throw them in my backpack and
You're on the road.
go about my day.
Don't want to, you don't know where you're going, how much time you got, or whatever. Just grab one of these.
So before we close out our episode here today, I want to thank our host venue. We're at Whiskey House Nashville.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, we are. It was really
must not
nice.
be the
They let
house.
us use a facility to record this episode today. Us is a private social club. So, but if you have an opportunity ever to be part of a charity tasting or some other event, they really have. It's a great organization and
Even greater people.
They raise tens of thousands of dollars for great charities.
yeah.
They themselves are a charity, but they give back to the community.
So I want to thank them very much for allowing us to use the facility today. It was
Thank
really
you, JB.
great to be here. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, as you know, all good things are worth discussing. We're probably going to keep this conversation rolling after the tape.
Yeah, I just
maybe we'll go smoke a cigar.
So Nathan, do you stock all these in your store? I'm just curious.
So actually, because our shop carries more small, a lot more boutique, smaller companies,
Yeah.
but actually this series is what we gravitate more towards, more of the newer Avo. A lot of our customers are a lot more Nicaraguan, more Ecuadorian, more into that more complexity. And so if we're going to have Avos on the shelf, it's actually going to be more likely this four than anything else.
Yeah.
Do you pack it up as a sampler pack?
We haven't, but that's a good idea.
Ooh, that is
a good idea. That's a great idea.
I would definitely encourage retailer to do that for sure.
Yeah.
Pair
Fantastic,
all
yeah.
of them
Well,
together for sure.
I want to go ahead and just thank our co-host today. Thank you, good old boy Mike.
Yeah, thanks for joining us here on this episode of Sip, Suds, and Smokes. Definitely go out, check out these Avos, for sure. And I would definitely go back to these. Keep on tipping, everybody.
Yeah. And good old boy Drew.
Hey, yeah, I have to say that I have changed my mind a bit about Avo. They're not as boring and one note as I thought they were. So please don't hate me, Avo.
Yeah, and good old boy Nathan.
And it's just to know that all the old brands can adapt and change and create something new, especially as we grow in tobacco and learn more about blending and more about how different plants interact with each other.
Old dogs can learn.
And again, I want to
Exactly.
thank Avo for hooking it up with
Thank
these
you,
cigars.
Avo.
Yeah, it was really
You
great.
guys are
Thank
awesome,
you.
and we really like what you're doing. So keep it going. And as everyone else knows, I'm good old boy Barger, and yeah, we're gonna be signing off here and
Keep on smoking.
keep on smoking what you're smoking, no matter what it is.
Yeah. Enjoy something.
as long as
Enjoy
it's legal
something.
in
Even-
your place of
Origin.
residence.
That's right. That's right.
Right. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're listening to us online, do yourself a favor and tap
Tap it in.
the subscribe button.
Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
The easiest way to listen to our show is to ask Siri, Alexa, Google, Uncle Larry, or whoever it is that talks to you on your phone. Play podcast Sip, Suds, and Smokes. We love your feedback, and you can reach us at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com. Our tasting notes flow out on Twitter and Instagram with our handle @SipSudsAndSmokes, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news. You'll also be able to interact with the thousands
Millions and millions.
of other fans on those social media platforms. Do us a favor. Take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. That's a big help to us, and we get to see your feedback as well. Come back, join us for another episode, and keep on sipping.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sip, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.